everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Helen and I thought today I'd have a go at the 20 questions book tag. I recently saw that on Sam's channel from Griff Reads, I'll link her channel below, and thought I'd give it a go. So without further ado, I will start with the first question, which is how many books is too many for a series? It depends. If you really love a character in a series, you kind of want as much as you can get from that series. I've read ones with 3, 4. The Selection series is 5 and I really enjoyed that. The Jasper Ford Thursday Next series, that's 7. The only issue I do find with that is you get to the end and you start forgetting what's happened. So each time they bring a new book out, I found with that one I had to read it through at least twice through for when the next book came out. And if he brings another one out, which I hope he does, then that's another, I've got to read through all 7 again. So that can be difficult. And then of course there's the School for Good and Evil that I've been making my way through, and that's 6 books at the moment. So a nice number is probably about 3 or 4, but if you're really into a series, sometimes I think you don't mind if you love them that much. The next question is, what do you think about cliffhangers? Love them. I recently read Frostheart 2 Escape from Aurora, and that ended on a cliffhanger. And it's frustrating because you really want to find out what happens next, and you know that it's going to be a while before the book comes out. But that is the good thing about if you're behind everybody else when a series comes out and there happen to be 4 or 5 books out, if you get to a cliffhanger, you can just binge and go to the next one. But there's something about getting to the end of one and being like, I need the next one now and I can't. So it's the same with television series, isn't it? It's nice to binge watch if you've got a lot of episodes, but there's something about that sitting every week and anticipating as well. So I like cliffhangers, but they can be frustrating too. Do I prefer hardbacks or paperbacks? Paperbacks all the way, they're just easier to hold. Although when you get the really chunky, like 600-page ones, they can be just as difficult to handle. But yeah, paperbacks I'd say. My favourite book, I always used to say it was The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I'd read that a few times, but it's been that long ago since I read it now I can't actually tell you what happens, so I don't know if I can call that my favourite book. There's another one that's my favourite book, but I'm also using that for a book you can reread later, so I don't want to mention that yet. But most recently I really enjoyed The 7 Lives of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That's got to be up there. I really enjoyed that and the way it was set out. My least favourite book, that's another one I recently read, has got to be The Graduate by Charles Webb. It just wasn't written well. Like I said about the dialogue, it was just pages of conversation that didn't flow well. But also, I read one a little while ago. When my little girl started at nursery and school, I wanted to read books about like mums at the school gate and that kind of thing, because I find that dead interesting. And I read some really good ones. I think there was one called The School Run by, I want to say Helen Whitaker, I think that was, and I loved that one. So I picked another one from the library. Well, I ordered them in actually. It was a duology, and the first one was called A Year in the Life of a Playground Mum by Christie Barlow. It just wasn't well written. I really didn't like it. I gave it 1 star. So I never read I can't remember the sequel to it, but I never read it because I thought I don't think I can put myself through that again. So it's a shame because I like that. It's wrong really because it's like stereotypes, but you do find it at the school gate. It's like the different types of mums and the cliques and things, and just found it interesting to read. But yeah, that was one of my least favourites. Love triangles, yes or no? Definitely a place for them, yes. I loved Twilight. I loved the Edward and Jacob, who she's going to end up with eventually. I'm trying to think of others that there was. The Hunger Games, I suppose that's a love triangle in a way. Yeah, I think there is a place for them. I think it's like everything, you go in stages with things. Sometimes you like a certain kind of trope, but then you fill up on it and you're like, oh God, I can't read another one of them for a long time. And you opinions change, don't they, of what you like and what you don't like. A recent book you couldn't finish, What Lies Between Us by John Mars. Read so many of his books, but this one I got 75% of the way through and it just freaked me out. I don't know if I was in the wrong state of mind to read it or what, but I just had to give up on it. And it's a shame because when you get that far through, you think, oh, come on, but mentally I just couldn't do it. And it puts me off going back to it now in case I get the same kind of feelings. So, yeah, that's a shame, but I couldn't finish that. A book you're currently reading, Married Annoyed from a Scrabble TBR. I have got somewhat daft, like probably 20 pages left, if that. So that's what I'm recently reading. I've got mixed feelings about this. There are some gross stories in this, and at first I read the first section of it, which is, I thought, oh, what am I reading here? And I was looking forward to getting to the Married and Annoyed bits, but it has been laugh out loud in parts, but there's some bits I think, what am I reading? So I don't think it's quite done its job in making me want to listen to the podcast, actually, because it's actually a bit crass in places. But yeah, that's what I'm recently reading. The last book you recommended to someone, oh, The Shelf by Helly Actor. Loved it, and I would tell lots of people about it. If you were into reality TV, this could be the one for you. I always loved Big Brother, but then I got to like series 5 or 6 and gave up on it then, because that first one was the social experiment. It was amazing and it was interesting for a while, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. But this reminds me of the length of that and things like The Bachelor and stuff like that. It's basic. The premise is a girl gets dumped, but her boyfriend does it on a television camera. She doesn't know it, but it's live streamed to millions of people. She basically gets dumped on screen and then taken into this house like Big Brother with a load of other women who all got dumped on the screen as well. And they basically go through challenges. It's very tongue-in-cheek because it's challenges to make you a better life partner. But it's so funny, so interesting. It's lovely seeing a cast of women who are all there for each other, and yeah, I just loved it because like I say, it reminded me of like the early Big Brother and the Bachelor and things like that. So yeah, loved it, loved it, loved it. So the oldest book you've read by publication, I had to go back and look at some classics, and there may be another that I've missed, but I looked at Jane Eyre, that was 1847, Wuthering Heights was 1847, but Pride and Prejudice was 1813. And I think, I mean, obviously I've read passages in the Bible, and that's very old, isn't it? But in terms of reading a full book, Pride and Prejudice in January 1813 is the earliest published. Favourite author, Jasper Ford, I've mentioned that before. John Mars, mentioned that before. Do I prefer to buy books or borrow books? You can hear my cat there. Definitely borrow books. I like treating myself, as you've seen many a time where I say, oh no, I've done it again. But definitely borrow books, whether it's from the library, other people. So yeah, definitely borrowing books. A book you disliked that everyone else seemed to like, Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I just got bored. I had really high hopes for it and it just disappointed. And to be honest, I can't actually remember. It was a while ago since I read it. The exact ins and outs of why I didn't like it, but I just remember getting really bored and finishing it because loads of people had liked it and I thought I need to carry on, but yeah, just didn't like it. Bookmarks or dog ears, I cannot dog ear my books. You know, if other people want to do it, I'm not going to judge you, that's fine, it's your book, you do what you want, but I can't dog ear a book, even if it's a receipt or a ticket or anything. I want to, what's the word, keep my place with that rather than dog earing books. A book you can always reread. Oh, Forever Liesl by Charmian Carr. Basically told from the woman who played Liesl in The Sound of Music. Sadly, she passed away a few years ago. But I love The Sound of Music, and this book is just, I don't normally keep books and I can never let go of this. So I could reread this all day long. I actually haven't reread it in a long time, and one of the prompts for Supernatural-thon is a reread, and I couldn't add it to my list because I've got that many books, but if I get to near the end of the month and I've got space for another book, I will be rereading this. It's got lovely pictures in it. It's got all the behind the scenes gossip from The Sound of Music. And yeah, Forever Liesel by Shami Ankar. Get it if you can, because it's lovely. And look at the picture. 16 going on 17. Love that song. So yeah, reread definitely. Can you read while listening to music? No. Sometimes if somebody's low level listening to watching something on the telly and I'm not interested, I can get absorbed in a book and try and get through it that way, but I just can't do other things while I'm reading. I need to concentrate. One point of view or multiple. There's place for both. I do like being able to focus on one person and live their life with them. But I like the ones where it is multiple perspectives and they've got a chapter each and it's clear who that chapter is and you're not guessing. Um, because sometimes you read a one person point of view and you think, I wonder what that other person's thinking, and you're dying to know. And so that is the place for that. But I really don't mind. I like both. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? If I am really into a book and I have the time, plenty of time, and I'd have to pretty much be on my own because I've got a 5-year old, so you can't just sit and read a book all day when you've got a 5-year old around. And I've got a lovely husband who I want to spend time with, so it's not really fair to just sit all day and read. But I could read one in one sitting. I mean, it'd have to be a not very big one, um, but most of the time it takes a couple of days at least. But I love that feeling when you're so into a book and you get in bed at night and you end up staying up a lot later than you planned because you just have to finish it. I need 8 hours sleep every day, but I've got to admit there has been certain books where I've had to stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning just to get it finished. And finally, who do I tag? I've only been on YouTube maybe 5 weeks now, heading into probably the 6th week. So a lot of the people I know have been on YouTube, you know, at least a couple of months and some of them years. So I would imagine a lot of them have done the 20 questions book tag. But if you haven't and you want to, by all means consider yourself tagged. Yeah, I hope this was okay. I just saw it and thought, oh yeah, I can answer them questions, and they're not too similar to like the book newbie ones that I did not long ago. Because I don't want to do tags for tag's sake. I want the questions to appeal to me and not be ones that I've repeated, which is why I haven't done any other tags so far, because quite a lot of the questions are similar and you don't want to hear me just say the same things over and over again. So yeah, I am now going to go and drink my lemon tea. But yeah, I hope you found this interesting and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.